Hello and welcome to K-Stop, Fuse's K-Pop podcast. Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Benjamin. I'm an editor at Fuse. And finally, back in my life, after a week away, which was too long, it is, as everyone knows, the honey thighs to my chocolate abs, Tina Zhu.
I'm back.
Yes.
Oh, it was very, very like is distressful a word? Stressful? Distressful? I was distressed over not having recorded last week's episode, but last week's episode was really, really great.
Oh, yes. The
KCON LA preview.
Yes, thank you, Angie Mills of K-Pop Stars and other.
Got great response to it. So.
Yeah, we had a great episode. We had Jessica Jung, do a little interview bit with us, which was so fun. Thanks again, Jessica. Full-fledged interview, photo shoot, all that coming to Fuse this week. So please stay tuned to it. Yeah, we got one of our biggest responses yet. I'm sorry, Tina, you had to miss out on the fun.
Right,
there were unforeseen issues all over the place last week, so we apologize if you've been missing Tina, but she's back and better than ever.
The dynamic K-Stop duo returns this week.
Thank goodness. Yes. Yeah, and you guys know, as always, we love including you on K-Stop and bringing you guys into the fold as much as possible. And yeah, because you guys you're part of the show as much as we are, and we love seeing your comments. We love talking with you guys about K-pop, whether that's on Twitter, whether that's using the hashtag K-Stop on Twitter. We see your comments on Fuse.tv. We see your comments on iTunes. We see it all, people. So we really appreciate, as always, the comments and everything and hitting us up. And, one of the biggest parts or one of the biggest ways in which you are part of this
K-Stop experience.
Yes, this K-Stop experience is getting you guys on board with our getting your guys' feel for what your favorite releases were. And every week we ask you to vote in our polls on Fuse.tv of who was your favorite release of last week. So Tina, I didn't even get to hear your thoughts on these, but real quickly, last week we talked about FX's All Mine,
right,
a song I know you dig.
I love
from
love,
my
love.
personal just sitting next to you.
We chat sometimes, here and there.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
We also have who else did we talk about? We talked about Faye's solo debut from Miss A. We also that is not a good one. And then we also talked about Hugok and Eunji's Ocean collaboration.
Right, yeah. Also boring.
Tina coming hard after a week off.
I love both of them individually, but they release like the same vibe on like every song. So I was definitely gonna vote for FX. I did vote for FX. All Mine. I think I'm assuming they won.
They did 50% of the votes.
Nice.
Faye coming respectably at 38%, and Hugok and Eunji with 12%.
Okay,
not bad.
It's not bad. It's nice when it's a little bit more evened out, and this is considered kind of even.
Yeah, sometimes we see like 98%.
4%.
Oh, poor things. But no, this one was pretty good. So congrats to them, or congrats to FX. And actually, I got to see Amber this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
At KCON Los Angeles, which I just got back from. I'm very tired. If you hear it in my voice, I'm quite tired. It's been a long but fun weekend. Amber and I actually got to sit down, which was really fun. My cousin actually was with me during the interview, which is really interesting. And she recorded a little bit of it until Amber's manager told her no recording.
K-pop fan?
No, that was the really interesting thing, right? Is so my cousin, this is my older cousin Dana. She lives in Los Angeles, and I saw her every time I went out to KCON and things like that. We would always get dinner or a drink or something. Right. But this year, I told her, I'm like, hey, coming in for my annual, K-pop trip, and she was like, hey, weird question, but can I join you and like see what it's like and see a panel or something. Yeah. So it was really awesome.
What
Shout
a work
out to
trip for you involves.
my cousin Dana. Yeah, exactly. So she came to my last panel, which was about Western media in Korea. She saw my interview with Amber.
Her mind was probably completely blown.
Yeah, she saw the concert too, which was she saw BTS twice.
Yeah. Saw the fandemonium that was happening.
Yes. Well, she kept holding her ears because it was literally too loud for her fragile flower ears. And she her review was that she really liked Monsta X. They were her favorites. She got to see Monsta X, but her favorite song of the night was Eric Nam's English song with
His
Collage.
New single?
Not the new one. Do you remember he did
that's
this?
not even English.
This English
about.
one,
yeah,
with
okay,
Collage.
Right. Yeah.
Who was also there. Tisa from Collage was there too, which was so cool to see, and that was their first live performance together.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. I get no greater joy from like opening someone's eyes to something like that. So that was really, really fun and awesome to experience. Yeah, she
got the full experience.
She really did. She got to see behind the scenes, on the scenes, the fan part of it, everything. So that was very cool. So I had a really fun weekend. It was so awesome to see. I'm calling K-pop summer camp now because it just feels like, and Tina, you'll be with us next year because
maybe we'll see.
And it's just everyone coming together, these people you see every year, or like a lot of reporters and stuff like that. It was so fun.
Awesome. Yay.
So
I'm glad you're back.
High spirits. Thank you. Back. And we have an awesome episode today. We got so many fun people. I'm really excited to talk about them. Who's first on your list though?
I feel like we gotta kick it off with HyunA.
We
do. That's the biggest release in the past week.
We do.
Saw a lot of stuff on my Twitter feed about it.
Oh boy!
And it's her first solo release since 4 Minute disbanded, I guess. And there's been lots of like kind of rumors, chit chat, drama about the girls and how they've maintained or lack of maintainment of their relationship with each other since the disbandment. But she returns with How Is That?
How's that? Or how's this?
Korean, or how's this? Sorry. Yeah. And I feel like the general response so far to it is that a lot of twerking, it's a very like kind of, I don't want to say expected, but it's very HyunA-esque. You kind of expect her to drop a heavy dance beat, kind of sassy, lots of like hip shaking, and that's essentially what this is, and it really fits into her overall repertoire.
Yeah, for sure.
I personally like it. I think the beat's great. I think for her, this single was a little too safe for me. There's nothing surprising about it. And I don't think I don't think as her first solo release after leaving 4 Minute, I don't think this like set her apart at all from any of her solo stuff before. Okay. I think this is completely mediocre no matter how catchy it is.
Yeah.
She does even less, and I feel like the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like shitting on it. I'm really not. I think it's really, really dope. Like if I'm getting ready to go out or something, if I hear this in a club, I'd be all for it. And also the video is basically like one giant Korean beer commercial. Just think of a beer commercial that's in Korean and increase the duration by like 3 minutes.
Right.
But I think she doesn't do much in it. She says like 5 lines, and then even the choreography in the video, there's like none.
Yeah, I kind of am feeling your frustrations too, that I'm kind of picking up on, because it's this is by no means a bad track per se, or not like nothing about it is like not catchy or not hot or anything in that way, but like it just feels like HyunA's done this, you know.
It's so redundant to me.
Right. HyunA's done the, you know, spastic banger. You know, the beats are great. You know, it's cool. I mean, I rolled my eyes a little bit at the saxo beat, you know, at the beginning, because I'm like, oh my God, we still really can't get rid of the saxo beat.
It's not overbearing though, I will say.
It's not. I just kind of started rolling my, and then like again with like we kind of had like that DJ Mustard sound on a, and then
she loves that kind of like bleep bleep bloop like video game kind of sound,
the
very
synthy,
DJ Mustard.
Yes, 100%. You know, the breakdowns are kind of cool how they changed every time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that last one was really cool. I kind of actually
that kind of where it like slowed down a little bit,
got a little darker, moodier. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I like that. I wish there was a little bit more of that. It was
that really perked in my ears.
Because I know you love like Volume Up.
Yes,
which was
love that song.
Very, very. It was much darker and you know. I wish she kind of would have gone in more of that direction.
That would have been
awesome. We've seen stuff like Ice Cream and you know, like Blacklist, which I love.
Oh, Blacklist is a great track.
Ice and like what was that Hot Mess song she came out with like a couple months ago with that rapper?
But the last solo comeback?
Yeah.
That was I'm the Best.
Oh yeah, that was a hot damn mess.
I did not like that one either.
I mean,
Red was very spastic.
I liked Red though.
But it was a very much like a statement song.
Yes,
and I got what they were going. I was like, this is it.
I think the concept helped that. The overall aesthetic of it. But yeah, I mean,
no, and I pick up what you're saying. Like the video too, it was just like this is a club.
I was like watching this. I was like, of course. Like if I had to like make up my own HyunA video, this was exactly what it would have been.
Right, because we're not music video directors. We'd be like, okay, this song's hot. It's in a club, right?
I know.
Like
I'm like
that's
out of all places.
Yeah, like that's the thing is that I will say, you know, to throw a little positivity into the bucket.
I like it. It's fun.
It is fun. I'll probably play when I'm getting ready or you know, being silly in my house or something. I will say I did an actual very positive point is that, well, you know, or I think everyone knows K-pop videos, they basically show more like one body type. But I will say I did like how they incorporated that there was some diversity in the video. That there were different body types. You know, some of these people had a little more curves, a little more jiggle in their twerking. And I was like, I am so here for that, because I think a big criticism, at least personally, a criticism of mine of the I'm the Best video was these girls are twerking. And, you know, not that there's anything wrong with being, you know, thin or, you know, having a slender body type. But I was like, no, everyone's used to seeing, like, you know, a little more jiggle, a little more.
Especially since if you're going to throw twerking in there.
Yes.
I mean, I'm glad she didn't overdo it.
It wasn't overdone, thank God.
I can't handle, like,
no.
You know,
getting on the floor.
Not even just Asians. A lot of just artists who like shouldn't be twerking, but they appropriate that aspect of Black culture.
Hi, Miley.
So so I was like, okay, like they're just doing more, just like, you know, a couple here and there. They're in a club, whatever.
No, they're throwing it, you know,
and it's not Taylor Swift level, like,
oh my God,
ridiculousness.
Please don't even remind me of that video. Wow. Okay.
So I'm going back to the choreography thing. So a loyal listener of K-Stop, What Will said on Twitter.
Yes.
He hashtag K-Stop and said, HyunA needs a Britney Spears make me moment. Strip back and focus on either the vocals or a banger choreography. And I think that's very true.
So, okay,
wise, I mean, HyunA's not a vocal person. She does her rapping and that little baby voice of hers, and it sells. She barely does anything on this song, and she's not really dancing. So I feel like I'm not getting anything. And it's heavily production oriented. Yeah. And
I'm totally here for you, by the way, with Will, with that make me moment.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be actually a really interesting thing, in a good way, to see her like go a little vibier, like get like a little, like try something a little different, because I think the second part of that comment is like kind of hinting at this too, right? Did you get that part too, where he goes like, as dope as HyunA comeback is, she's in this creative wormhole that ended for a minute. he said, I'm still going to twerk, us too, but it's safe, hashtag K-stop. And I think it's spot on. Like, it really is like, it's all when, I think there started to be this extra emphasis on HyunA being like this sex symbol and, going really far with that. Right. And the group got less and less important. And that was a big part of, what was going on with 4 Minute and the issues there.
It's just becoming less and less authentic for me.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah.
Right?
I just think as her first single as a solo artist, after 4 Minute, she should have done more.
I think she should have said, yes, this is HyunA. Like, this is going to be like my thing.
It's basic as hell.
It became, right. And I think I agree. It was a missed opportunity.
It doesn't even measure up to her older solo stuff,
It was,
maybe we're becoming more jaded because she's released so many hits.
Yeah.
But, it's really catchy. I like it a lot, but I think we're just more judgmental because we love her catalog.
Yeah.
And this just isn't like stacking up for us.
It feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I wanted to give it, this is an interesting take on it too. Shout out to Phil Rock, P Medina, who hit me up on Twitter and said, "Hey Jeff, so what are your thoughts on HyunA making a debut so fast after the 4 Minute disbandment? A little quick, no?" And I didn't even realize the timing until I wrote my actual article about it. And then 4 Minute, that was just in June when that mid-June when that happened. And, it didn't rub me the wrong way personally to see something like I didn't feel like it was quick or anything. I think if anything, it's kind of like Cube knows they have HyunA and like Beast just made a comeback, that was great. It's like, okay, who do we got? Like, we can't be messing up,
They have to just make a statement that we're still a force.
Exactly. So did you feel anything like it was too quick or anything?
I mean,
like, what's she supposed to do?
There's always going to be like a little bit of like some feels in there where you're just like, okay, like, but how long is considered appropriate amount of time, right?
Thing.
It's also subjective. Like,
is she just going to sit around?
And she doesn't seem like someone who is polite and really gives a shit what you think. So she's,
polite.
Clearly she's just going to be like, obviously, push my material out there. Have people forget that I was, not forget that I was like, 4 Minute obviously made her, but it's like she obviously wants to carve a name for just herself now.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, so
right.
Better sooner than later.
That's and it was a weird moment when I was watching the video on YouTube even, and I saw it was under a new YouTube channel, HyunA official, not 4 Minute official, because all her stuff is under 4 Minute. It's a new era.
I just think they are being really aggressive with her reality show that's coming out. It is kind of a slap in the face of the other members.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're doing like all this promotion. Like, clearly they've been planning this for a while.
Right.
And
they can't mess up. Yeah.
Right. So, it is what it is. I heard in a recent interview, they asked HyunA, have you talked to your bandmates or ex-bandmates? She's like, I haven't. I've been so busy working on this comeback that I haven't reached out to them. But I hope people don't think that I'm like being rude and like disrespectful and because she says she hopes for a reunion in the future.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I'm like, you didn't reach out to them once.
Yeah,
it's not like you're in the studio 24/7. You can't shoot them a text. So
anyway, which makes me think it wasn't so amicable. Did you also see that all the
social media
where they unfollowed her on Instagram? It just doesn't bode well for a reunion.
It doesn't surprise me, but I was also like,
oh,
why do you? I don't know like how sincere these comments were.
It might have just been like the PR answer, but well, as you guys know, we love a 4 Minute. We love Cube. We're rooting for them just like you guys, so we're hoping for the best. But I think for now, HyunA is we'll take HyunA. I'll take HyunA.
Yeah.
Let us know, what you guys think. We had some awesome comments. Just, clearly HyunA's striking a chord with our listeners, but let us know what else you guys think. And thank you so much to Will and P Medina for the comments. They were awesome.
Yes.
Who's next on our list, Tina?
Let's go with some hip hop. Let's do
some hip-hop.
Basick's release.
Basics.
I've heard Basick on a couple tracks here and there. I'm not super familiar with him, but he collaborates with a lot of those other underground rappers or a lot of acts from like Show Me the Money.
Yeah, he did a lot of awesome Show Me the Money stuff.
So he dropped a very summery single titled Nice, and it features American born, he's from Dallas, I think, G2, who is now like fully residing in Korea, and also featuring Hwasa of Mamamoo. Also very, 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 very popular right now. Yeah. And what did you think of it, Jeff? Because it has a very like melodic chorus. Right. So I was thinking maybe Jeff will like this. But I don't know.
No. I actually really, I was very like pleasantly, I'm not so familiar with Basics. Just I know I've heard some tracks here and there, just wasn't sure what to expect from him as the artist. But no, the production is so good, and it's so like perfect for summer. I love I love the percussion in particular. It really like grows into like giving this like really nice like euphoric vibe in its own way, but it still kind of hits hard in that way too. So I was really, really feeling that. I really and the chorus was like you said, like
interesting.
It was interesting. Well, here's my question for everyone involved in this is like with the there's a lot of expletives in the she's kind of
they got baby girl cursing up there.
Yeah, like fucking nice. Yeah. And I really wonder if anyone if she, because she sings it so sweetly, and I almost was like, is this done in an ironic way? Right. Is it done in a way that, she knows does she know what she's saying? Does she not?
I think everyone knows all the bad words in every language. Really? I'm pretty sure that, especially since G2 is fluent English, he's American.
Good point.
I'm sure they know to an extent what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think everyone, I think it's pretty universal, the F-bomb in English.
It just seemed so out of, just given how sweetly it was, delivered and so I was like, oh, okay. I was
Which almost made it even more jarring and unexpected.
Yeah. So maybe that's the brilliance of the track.
Yeah.
What's your review?
I really, really like this song, actually. I just think it's so summery, and the video is just, they're on an island. It's very tropical.
Yes.
I mean, the video wasn't anything super, it didn't blow me away, but it was just casual. I think that's the song itself is just casual.
Yeah.
I like G2's flow. He was I like that his flow and Basic's flow are very different, but they complement each other well.
Right. G2 opens the song, right?
G2, he's the one, I believe he's in the middle. Has follow-up verses in the bridge.
I see.
He's more of that rougher sound.
Okay. Just double checking.
Basic is a little bit lighter, his voice is higher, obviously. I didn't know what to expect. And I thought the three of them, I was like, all three people I don't know that much about. How will they sound together? And Hwasa's sound is super sweet, but not gross sweet.
No,
it's
not
very
at all.
smooth, sugary, but it fits well with I feel like when a lot of hip hop tracks, when you throw in a female vocalist on there, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it worked in this case. Yeah,
and it was kind of cool because I think of Hwasa as the sort of the sound of Mamamoo. Her voice is really distinct, and when I listen to those tracks, hers kind of comes through more than anything else. She does have
a very strong.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool to hear that on its own on a track, and it worked. That could have been very it could have been a really bad mismatch sort of track of some sort, because she really does have that really distinctive tone. But I thought it worked out well here. Still thrown off by the fucking nice, sort of thing.
I think her voice carries well, and I'm glad they really amplified in the chorus.
Yeah,
and not just having her I don't know, giggle in a couple lines and call that a feature.
Right. No. It's always nice when they're actually incorporated and become a substantial part of the track, rather than just sing a hook or something like that.
Yeah.
how did you get into G2, or how did you learn about G2?
No, like I think it was one of those things where I saw his name on a track somewhere and I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially when you have some sort of ties to the US, it's easier for English outlets to cover you. So I like found a couple articles and there was like interview with him.
Nice.
Online. So, he's like surprisingly from Dallas, which you don't hear too much about.
Right.
Yeah. So,
the only thing I hear about Dallas is that it's becoming a big K-pop spot in terms of it. Just like SHINee held a fan meeting there like 2 days ago. Okay. Like they're really making an effort to like see K-pop's hitting Dallas more. I'm like, wow, who would have thought?
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know that much about him, but I like his vibe. He's real chill. He has a good sound.
Cool. No, I don't know too much about him personally, so I'm excited to learn a little bit more. Yeah, no, I think Basick is, he obviously has like the backing of something like Show Me the Money, which is like a huge, just those songs always do so well, like in the charts over in Korea and here sometimes. So I hope he continues.
He's getting more and more out there.
Yeah. And remember, his name isn't Basick, it's Basick, like sick. He's like sick. So just so everyone knows.
In case y'all ever forget, just remember Jeff's
just remember
reminder.
My phonetic reminder.
Jeff is schooling y'all right now.
And last but not least, of course, let us know what you think of Basick, Hwasa, and G2 any way you want, or vote for them in the poll. But last but not least,
it might be the least though.
Whoa, Tina.
You can't say last but not least, but like it might actually be the least.
I see what you're saying. Well, to be determined. But we got my girls. Oh, my girl.
They return
the 8-member girl group who don't seem to ever take a break ever. They've released, I think, like 3 singles or promoted 4 singles, something like that this year. They are back with a new summer track. It's called Listen to My Word, parentheses, Aing. And I've never understood the Aing thing. I know Orange Caramel had a song called Aing.
Aing means loving, right?
Oh, it does?
I means love.
Oh.
Or like the word or the 2 words, I guess the term aing means lover.
Okay.
But I don't think that's what they're referring to. It's like the letter A and ing.
Right.
Aing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know what that means, but I know like maybe it's like a play on the sound. I don't know. I could be, if y'all like, please correct me.
Yes, please correct us, because
I clearly did not like research what aing means.
Oh yeah, I thought it was maybe just this K-pop term I never knew, but maybe no one else. Maybe it's just one of these mysterious, esoteric terms.
Because I mean, like GOT7 had A, right? That was the letter A.
Yeah, right. What was that about? I don't think I thought that was just referring to the phonetic, like,
is it like
A. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was always just like an A.
Is that what Oh My Girl is referring to? Like they're hollering at you? I don't know. This sounds more and more ridiculous the more I say it. So let's just get into the song.
All right, let's get into the song. Okay, so this is their new like summer single. It's got like kind of this, it kept being described as this like reggae new song, and
I hear the reggae, I do.
Yeah, and in particular it features Haha and Skull, I believe, right? Who are kind of like indie reggae pop kind of guys in those kind of world, and they're kind of the go-to people.
And Haha, like if I remember correctly, he was like a host, kind of like TV personality. I remember he hosted
oh really?
He hosted Korea Music Festival at Hollywood Bowl
in
like 2010, 2011. I took a photo with him. I think. Yeah, Haha. This is the same.
You went to California for this?
Yeah, in 2011, 2010, back in my cray days. This was back when 2 PM performed in Beast. It was a stacked lineup.
It was literally.
Yeah, I stayed at the Sheraton where they stayed and camped out in the lobby. I was that. I was that fangirl. Anyway,
Tina, I'm cutting this out of the episode.
But I bring that up only because I'm pretty sure it's like
Oh, that's
this
cool.
is the same haha we're talking about.
No, that's so awesome. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he is like kind of one of those funky, kind of sillier rappers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Because, yeah, they kind of have sort of embraced the sort of island reggae sound. And that works well for this track, I would say. I mean, you guys know from the past, I've been really much a fan of Oh My Girl's past stuff. And, you know, lots of times, but this is how I kind of feel about them in general, is that there are some such strong moments. Like, I really love the intro. Haha and Skull's, like, intro is, like, really sets up this nice section. I'm like, oh, damn, like, this is going to be really exciting. And then the vocal and the melodies kind of fall a little flat to me. I think and then so yeah, it like starts with this song. It's very sweet and cutesy, and maybe we'll do, you know, is good for a summer vibe. But it falls a little flat to me as a listener. And then they get to this rap song where, you know, our fave, Oh My Girl's Mimi and Haha and Skull take this rap section. And I think they kill it in that section. And so once again, I'm kind of like, oh, there's some really strong sections here. And it doesn't all flow together.
I just felt like they just took elements and just like try to tape them together, and it just came out half-assed.
This like, is kind of how I feel about a lot of stuff.
And nothing seemed to transition well. And it's not even that type of like jarring transition that kind of works like 4 minutes hate,
right?
Where you're like, what just happened? But I kind of like it. This is like they're like, oh, I like reggae, so I'm gonna just like sprinkle on like the default reggae, like kind of like the whatever the default filter or whatever, and just throw
like
on
that
the
dub
reggae
sound. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's very like just every other reggae sound you can think of, like the stereotypical reggae sound.
Exactly.
Just threw it on there. It made no sense to me.
Right. No, I do agree with you in that way too. Is that it felt like they were like reggae. Okay.
It was like Reggae 101.
Yes. It was like, what? Oh, this dub sound. You know,
I would be offended if I were a fan of that genre.
We're not going to show it to one of our coworkers, Bianca. Then.
No. Oh my God, no.
No, I mean, you know, like it's just so it's frustrating because I really do think Oh My Girl has so much potential. So, like, I really think they're such a strong group. From what I could tell, the choreography looked really awesome and fun. But again, it just felt like this mismatch kind of song. I thought Liar Liar was kind of like that at times, really strong elements. Sometimes it just fell flat. Similarly with like the Windy Day song, like different strong moments, but together it didn't really flow as well. And I do, you know, these songs do grow on me. I am a fan of them, but I just think, oh, you guys, you were so close.
I appreciate the effort to kind of branch out a little. Just because they're so like cutesy, and it's cool to see them do something that obviously incorporates something that's a little bit unexpected, but it's just don't aim for something and not really like
not delivered, or don't go for it 100%. You know, and I think that experimentation is going to be a win for them in the end. But I just kind of was like, oh, so close. I also like didn't really like the video that much. Like I get they also want to give that summery, like, you know, pool vibe, but it was just like they're standing in front of some potted plants in a few scenes. Yeah, that was a little weird. It was just really weird. And they were like in the ground, and it was just very strange. The video didn't stick with me. I did not like. I am never here for K-pop stars pretending to eat food. Do you know at the beginning when they are all holding this fruit and they're just sort of like holding a banana in front of their face? I'm like, guys, just take a bite, or like it's not gonna ruin your diet. It just seems so inauthentic to me. So sorry, that's a very specific note.
I didn't feel like I was. It wasn't like the nice video from Basick where I wanted to go out and like frolic and be summery. This one I just felt very uncomfortable. So definitely not as strong as what was the release that we talked about in a previous episode? The name is slipping.
Liar Liar.
Yes, Liar Liar.
You liked Liar Liar a lot?
That one was definitely more cohesive and more their alley.
Yeah, I would agree. I still think if you ever heard the song Closer, it's like one of the best K-pop songs of last year. I strongly suggest everyone check it out. But Tina, we've put them through the ringer. They've come out alive. What K-pop song ultimately, though, gets your vote this week?
I'm going with Basick's Nice.
You know what? Like after like going through it all in my head, I might have to agree with you. Just strictly
Really?
from like track wise. I mean, the video leaves a little bit to be desired, I will say. But like just in terms of like, overall context, and everything. Like HyunA's is so fun. Oh My Girl is pretty good at moments. But maybe Basick just like as an overall package, it might take the win for me.
Right.
So
Yay.
you guys, well, I guess so. So we agree. Yay. But yes, you guys definitely please vote on Fuse.tv. Let us know what you think of whether it's Oh My Girl, HyunA, or I was about to call her 4 Minutes HyunA, but I guess you can't.
Basick.
Or Basick.
Featuring G2 and Mamamoo Hwasa. I love her name. So fun to say.
And now it's time to get into some charts. Here where we look at the top 5 songs on US iTunes right now. So, top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes right now. So coming in at number 5 this week is Nice. But not Basics Nice.
I was going to say.
Very nice.
No way.
By 17.
Right.
Yep, they're still holding strong. I think they actually rose back into the top 5. I don't think they were here last week. So congrats, 17. Number 4, Fire Truck. Yeah. NCT 127.
That song in a couple weeks.
Me neither.
Not on purpose.
It did get added. It was successful for a workout or two, but that's sort of it. Number 3, Save Me by BTS. I wonder if they're getting that post KCON boost. I wonder if people are like, "Hey, this song was great." So yeah, back there is BTS, who never leave the countdown. Number 2 though is Monster by EXO. I'm really surprised that that's still so high. And number 1, Fire by BTS.
HyunA's not up there.
HyunA is not. You know what? HyunA might have not been released in the U.S. just yet.
Oh, you know what? That's probably true.
It's a very cute thing.
She wasn't on Spotify when I checked, and usually they're really good about putting or Cube's good about putting stuff up there.
Yeah. So I wonder if it just hasn't been released.
Waiting for like the inevitable overtake. So
from HyunA?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's what you think.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And that's the charts. Let us know what you guys are listening to, because I think it's been kind of quiet in K-pop lately. So it's kind of interesting that these guys are rising. All these boy bands rising back to the top. But now it's time, as we do, to get into our deep cut section of the week. This is something that I've been seeing trending on a couple K-pop forums, and it's kind of also getting noted on international news. And I actually, it came to my attention via the Hollywood Reporter, but it is about China taking aim at basically K-pop stars in the K-pop industry amid this Korean missile defense dispute.
It's all very technical.
It's
and it
extremely
all ties
technical.
back to K-pop.
It kind of does, K-pop
marketing.
Always so relevant, but essentially the quick what are the spark notes is that speculation. There's all the speculation that China is starting to target K-pop stars as a retaliation against Seoul's decision because the government decided to install an American-made missile defense system in their country, and that comes as via defense for North Korea and stuff like that. But China is very opposed to this, and so they're saying China's reaction is by limiting South Korean media and its stars from, what has become this really huge entertainment market.
Right.
And this is coming from sources from China, and different TV shows, and sort of it's kind of all vague and unconfirmed right now, but there was automatic sort of reactions and seeing that SM Entertainment stocks fell a ton, or 5%. YG Entertainment's stock fell 8%.
So the stock fallings are confirmed.
Oh yeah, no, those fell. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just seen on like the market.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And like K-pop and but not just K-pop, the dramas, the movies, getting that stuff imported is really popular in China. And a lot of Chinese studios do work with them, in adapting it for their audiences and stuff like that. But Yeah.
So they're essentially not that this is her like main defense, but one method of hitting back at Korea's economy, in the face of all this international, international affairs drama, is to hit them when it comes to exports, and it will really affect their economy. I mean, China is a huge importer of Korean entertainment, and it's not only like goods and albums, there's ticket sales, there's appearance fees, and there's a lot of promotions, endorsements. And it's interesting how something as on such a large scale, like deploying a missile defense system, which doesn't directly affect China. It's like in conjunction, it's in partnership with the United States that Korea is deploying this missile defense system, and what they're saying is that this is in self-defense of what could potentially come attacks from North Korea, if it ever comes to that. And China feels threatened, whether it is because they don't like that it's happening so close to their borders, or because they feel like it's like a kind of a passive attack toward them from all other sides, feeling like Korea and the U.S. are, in partnership, working together. They got Japan on the other side, and they're feeling like this is not a good move for them.
Right. I was reading that, the People's Daily, which is a paper, backed by China.
The state-controlled.
Yeah, exactly. So they were saying, like, this is only going to bring fire upon yourself if you, like, set this stuff up. And it's so interesting that, like, this is something way bigger than pop music and, TV, movies, and all that stuff. But it's now trickling down, and this is, like, where they're deciding to hit them where it hurts. And I saw a lot of K-pop fans kind of concerned, first and foremost, because there are some groups in particular who do really well in China and who get a lot of business in China, and even if they don't do so well in Korea or at home, I'm looking specifically at like Tiara, for example, who've kind of made like China their second home. But the other kind of side of the argument too was that they were seeing this a lot like 2012 and Japan, when Japan started really limiting, putting a limit on Korean stars promoting in Japan. And, I think they started putting on these restrictions that, like, only a certain amount of groups could be shown on, or a certain amount of acts could be shown on television, or there were certain ratios. So a lot of groups' activities got really restricted
really
there.
regulating that.
Yeah, and it just kind of, and it was really hard for groups to find success there and find the success they once had there, because, you remember, like, for a while it was like Kara and Girls' Generation and
2 p.m.
TVX, 2 p.m. for sure, all those groups really doing so well over there.
On the Oricon charts, right?
On the Oricon charts. Wow, I don't think I ever said Oricon charts out loud.
It sounds so cool, though.
It does sound
Oricon,
cool.
yeah.
I read it, all the time, of course.
Right.
But, so since then, K-pop sort of advancement, quote unquote, in Japan has really gotten quiet. There's a couple groups that still are trying there or do well over there, but for most part, it's been really shifted to China. And this feels like another blow to them. It's like, oh my gosh, they're like, it's like, wow.
It just goes to show that K-pop is in itself an export, a major export for Korea.
Totally.
I'm interested in seeing, first of all, if this is officially confirmed, and two, if it is confirmed, the parameters, because right now it's just there are rumors that artists can't give concerts with more than 10,000 in attendance.
That. Right.
Things like
which is so
can't do promotions, and it's just like.
But then I was also reading keep going. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's just. I don't know how they come up with these numbers, or are they like, we're gonna do just enough for it to like affect them, but not totally. Like, I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
I know, and I wonder about these things too, because it's just like why that number, for example, and it's kind of, so does that force them to do more tour dates or something, or are they just not going to spend the time? I don't know. But I was also reading too that Stars was sort of like their own homegrown studios. Like I was reading that FX's Victoria has her own studio in China. I think Lei from XO does too. I feel like Jessica probably has like a headquarters there too. Those people more or less should be fine because they're sort of rooting themselves in China, because remember we were talking about this 2 weeks ago, I think it was, is that there are Chinese born and bred quote unquote K-pop stars promoting in Korea. What happens? Are they going to be restricted because they're still under this umbrella of K-pop, but that's still their hometown, or home country? I really wonder where the line. It seems like a very vaguely drawn line.
I guess it's if they're promoting under a Korean label, a Korean company, it's going to be considered Korean.
You think so?
Yeah, it's
that's
like
interesting.
Because what's the country making the money is Korea.
Right. Good point.
It's not what your nationality is.
Yeah, but okay, good point. Yep, yeah, you're right. Because then I wonder if but what if FX's Victoria is promoting like a Chinese movie with her? Yeah, you're right. I guess it all just goes back to SM.
I don't know.
Interesting. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think it's I really hope, because I think there was a lot of interesting stuff, at least, going on in Japan back in those earlier days, 2010, 2011, 2012, with K-pop stars in Japan. And I thought a lot of those Japanese releases were sometimes stronger than the K-pop releases. It was just a lot of good stuff and just a lot of good content coming out. We're not seeing a ton of Chinese singles, specifically Chinese singles coming out or anything like that. But I will be curious to see if this kind of, I hope it doesn't start making less content or restricting content.
Chinese content as opposed to Korean content?
Yeah. Or I would see some did you hear about, there were rumors that HyunA is going to release a EP in China, like a Chinese EP.
Oh, you mean Korean artists releasing Chinese material?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I wonder, I there wasn't a ton, but I wonder if it will affect the creation process and stuff. Because look at someone like Girls' Generation. They were releasing a Japanese album every year for a year, and then suddenly it stopped. So I wonder what's going on. I wonder what'll happen with that, and if we'll see some effects in those way, or if it's not totally restricted, what'll happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of still to be determined, but I think a lot of fans are kind of worried, or I saw a lot of fans being like, oh, China's pulling a 2012 Japan on K-pop, and I was like, wow, is this going to happen again?
I mean, I think when we first heard this news, it was very unexpected. Why would they wow, they're really targeting K-pop? I think at the end, if you think about it, it's not that far-fetched thinking, oh, you're essentially barring entertainment from a rival country, if you want to call it that.
Sure. And the saying happy, popular, influential stuff.
We don't accept your products. It's essentially a product.
Right. And pop culture is extremely influential. If you look at anything, pop culture really can define a movement of different sorts and whatnot. Look at the big thing that Chewy caused, over there. Who would have thought, just by holding a flag that would happen.
Yeah.
By the way, met her at KCON this weekend. She is just adorable, as pretty as one would think. Very sweet, adorable. So all of Twice really was. Yeah. They seemed nervous, but they were great. So really fun to see. Sorry to back to business though. But yeah, no, I really think it's almost like an overall just representation of just how influential pop culture can be. I think we kind of get almost a little numb to that as Americans, because our pop culture is just sort of, it's sort of, we don't have other countries totally affecting our pop culture, I think, which is a really weird way of thinking about the world. But, you know, I could imagine in another country, seeing another country's pop culture becoming so prevalent in that way would be a little, you know, remarkable, you know. And I've never personally been in that situation because I've only lived in this country. But, and, you know, American pop culture is what it is. But I could see that I could see why that would be a thing, you know, something to look into and be concerned about, and you know, see these products coming over and being like, hey, wait a minute, slow your roll, you know, for a second. So
yeah, I'm interested to see how this develops.
I am too. It's been
and just the parameters. I want to give me like the bullet points of like what this entails.
Yeah, I'm extremely curious, and you know, I'm gonna hope for the best, obviously, because I think, you know, China is an important market, and I think a lot of people see it as important, and I think it's like a lot of people just see China in general as like, you know, it's time to shine, and I think, you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So we'll be interested to hear your takes and what you think. And, you know, hopefully we tackle these political issues well. Hopefully you guys don't get to, you know, think we're idiots talking about this stuff. So, but yeah, that has, as always, been K-Stop for you. We welcome all your comments on everything, whether it's HyunA, whether it's Oh My Girl, whether it's Basick, whether it's China-Korea political relations.
Or that, yeah.
So thank you guys as always for tuning in. Tune in next week. We'll be right here, same time, same place. As always, this has been Jeff.
And this is Tina. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.